Hi everyone, and welcome to the Salesperson of the Month podcast from Distology. And this month is for December's winner, which is Elliott Harper. Good morning, Elliott. How you doing, mate?
Good morning, Steve. You all right?
I'm very well, thanks, mate. Yeah, I'm pretty good. So a lot of you guys will probably be seeing Elliott for the first time. Elliott recently joined the business about 5 months ago now into our ever-growing Southern team. So, Elliott, to kick off this episode, tell us a bit about yourself and a bit about your role.
Yeah, sure. So as Steve mentioned, about 5 months ago, I joined Distology. I've been predominantly working in vendor land. It's the first sort of role within the channel. So really excited to come on board and work with the team as the guys are here. Looking forward to building out the Southern space as well. I think that's really, really cool. Certainly for myself to be able to sort of own that and build that where I can. Yeah, that's kind of it really in terms of my role, in terms of where I've been. I suppose a bit about me. Enjoy playing football. It's all good. Not at the moment, but quite nice to get out and do a few bits. Yeah, pretty boring to be honest. Yeah, I
can confirm that. Yes.
Yeah.
So what made you join Distology? We're not the biggest distributor in the world. I'm sure when you got approached by it, you probably thought, who the bloody hell are they? So what got you interested?
Yeah, I did. Well, being completely honest, it was one of those where you're absolutely right. It wasn't one where I thought, actually, I heard of these guys before. Being completely honest, never heard of you guys before. It wasn't one that I'd come across when working with vendors. It wasn't a distributor I've ever worked with before. So for me, I sort of gave it a bit of a chance, if you like, and going into the interview process and things like that. And actually going through the interview process, it was pretty clear that this was the role for me. This was the company I wanted to be at, not just for the next year or so, but certainly for sort of my career. It's a place where I want to be at for sort of 5-10 years. So it's certainly a place where I felt I could grow. I think I've been at places in the past where you do become a bit of a number, whereas here you are held accountable, which I think is both exciting and also challenging. But I think at the same time, for me, it's the challenge that I wanted. Challenge I needed, I think, but yeah, having the responsibility of being able to, the opportunity probably more than responsibility to grow that Southern team and help the business grow as well. Is really exciting. So that was the kind of reason that I took the jump.
Decent, mate. It's time for the trademark quick fire questions. 5 questions.
Cool.
Answers. Are you ready?
5 questions, quick answers.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Would you rather have hands for feet or feet for hands?
Hands for feet.
Hands for feet. Yeah, I think you're right. You can still, yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
Favorite item on the McDonald's menu?
It's got to be a double bacon and egg McMuffin in the mornings. It's got to be.
Unless you say Dubsy Chesbos, mate, it's the wrong answer.
No, it's got to be that.
Right, biggest achievement in life? Anything?
Oh God, probably having my son. To be honest, I think that's. I think I'd be shot if I didn't say that. To be fair, but to be honest, but yeah, I think that's probably my biggest achievement, or certainly keeping him safe is probably the biggest one. But yeah, no, I'd say that's probably my biggest achievement so far.
I agree, mate. Who buys your clothes?
Who buys my clothes? Oh, mate. Depends on what kind of clothes you're talking about. So I buy a lot of my clothes, but I only ever get comments, like positive comments on the clothes that have been bought for me by my partner. So clearly there's a problem with the stuff that I like.
No comment. Last question. What's your New Year's resolution?
New Year's resolution. Well, so I reckon my New Year's resolution, as it probably is with everybody, right, is lose a bit of weight. I think it's probably my New Year's resolution.
What are you trying to say?
Well, I didn't want to say anything, mate, but I don't. No, that's for me. Get fitter, get back playing football at a fairly decent level again. That's kind of my goal.
Just going back to that New Year's resolution, when we were discussing late Thursday night, and I said, what are you doing tonight? What are you having for tea? What's your answer again?
Thursday night. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I had a KFC bucket actually. It wasn't just a meal. It was a whole bucket. I didn't polish it off in one night. I had it over a couple of sort of lunches as well. But
think of the protein, mate.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Good answers, mate. So I know in your sort of explanation of your role, you're talking about, you've come in as an external account manager, and of course the whole reason was you were going to be in partners sort of, day in, day out, helping those guys drive business, getting them with our vendors. How have you adapted to, of course, being completely remote in that respect?
Yeah, it's been tough. I mean, I think, to be fair, I've kind of been used to in the past working where I'm at. In the industry we work in, we can work remotely. So, having that sort of 5 or 6 years of experience prior to coming to Distology was quite helpful, because I had weeks where I was working from home, visiting customers, clients, partners even as well. So I'm kind of used to it in a way. A lot of the stuff that I did before was remote. It has been a lot more challenging though, I think, this time, because it's been indefinitely, I think, and that's the hardest bit. There's no kind of end. It seems to be there's no kind of end in sight, which is challenging. And also when we were able to come up and visit you guys up in Manchester was was kind of a breath of fresh air, really, because you get to kind of see, even just getting out going to the train station was quite nice, to be honest. You're not staring at the same four walls. It's been all right. It's been all right. It's one of those, I think, at the moment we just got to sit tight and hopefully we'll be out of it in the next couple of months.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, everyone's in the same boat, aren't they? So,
yeah.
One of the biggest things you've done in the sort of first 5 or 6 months is driven a ridiculous amount of pipeline, which is hugely beneficial to the partners you work with, and of course the vendors you work with too. How do you do it? It's not a case of just sitting there and hope it rolls in. What do you do? How do you go about doing that?
Yeah, I think to be honest, I mean, I've had a habit over the past of overcomplicating things and almost analysing too much. I think it's very much a case of, as they always say, being in the channel is very much relationship building. That's the biggest part of it. So that for me was the first point, building good relationships with the right people, the people that essentially within these partners that are working on the larger accounts and things like that has been massively beneficial. And I think, to be honest, almost not being afraid to mess things up as well. I think, I've made many mistakes even since being here. So, I think it'll probably always happen, right? Certainly not, hopefully not serious ones, but, little mistakes here and there, I think, benefits you and you learn from it quite a lot. So, just sort of throwing caution to the wind, if you like, and just going for it. That's been the biggest asset I think I've been able to adopt. Because everyone's in the same boat, everyone's working from home. It's just quite nice to have a chat with someone, to be honest. So being that.
Just in terms of that as well, Elliott, when you're speaking to partners, what are you doing with those guys? Is it account mapping sessions? How are you getting those guys enabled so they can have those good conversations with their end users?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, the process I normally take is that if they've not been enabled before, then it's a case of going through a bit of an overview of the product and the solution, giving them I think the key thing though is not necessarily about the solution, because they would have a vague understanding of it. I think we all work in tech, so I think if you necessarily didn't have an understanding of certain solutions that we offer, then it may not be for you. But I think they would have a broad baseline understanding. But the process I normally go through is overviews and enablement sessions, and that could be with the vendors directly, that could be with us guys, and our technical team. It could just be a conversation where they want to talk commercials, who knows, but it just basically depends on where they're at currently in their learning of the product. Again, account mapping sessions are massively important. I always ask them to come with sort of 5 trading accounts and then 5 prospecting accounts. So there's kind of a quick win system in there where you've got your trading accounts where they should be able to get us in front of them pretty quick because they're talking to them every day, I would hope. And then the prospecting accounts is where we can really show our value and getting them in there, I think is the key message there. So my biggest thing that's changed, I think, is the next step as well. So once we've done the account mapping session, it's not just say, off you go, we'll catch up in a couple of weeks. It's making sure that we've got something booked in. Yeah. Because that gives them a time frame of, say, a week, 2 weeks of, we may even have a catch-up session in between, who knows. But it gives us a timescale of 2 weeks, let's say, to really go for those customers and go for those prospecting accounts. and they can then come back and we can both be held accountable for that, because if they haven't done it, it's pretty clear because there's going to be no deal registrations coming through. Vice versa, if I haven't given them the right resource, it means that I need to be stepping up as well. So far, that's worked quite well. And that's been a massive driving point.
Yeah, and I think you've done it in a great consultative way. It's not just going into those partners with a briefcase full of vendors and going, what do you fancy? Yeah, I think you've been very, very good at sort of, speaking to the partners, finding out what their customers are facing or what challenges they're facing, and recommending vendors which are going to help. And I think that's good, and that's where you become that trusted expert, that you're not going, I'm after a quick sale. You're there to enable them on the right technologies, which is really going to help drive their business, but also really help out their customers too.
Yeah, definitely. And, I think when I was a bit younger and things, I always used to talk quite a lot, probably still do now, to be fair. But what I've realised is that listening more than talking, and when to talk, I think is also very important. So that's been a good learning curve for me, I think.
Agreed. 2 questions linked in together. What's been the biggest challenge since joining Distology?
I think that's a good question. Biggest challenge, I believe, is the kind of, you'd have to say working remotely. I think it's got to be at the moment. I think, to be honest, there are challenges, but I think we'd have that anyway. I guess not being able to, as you mentioned, turn around and speak to your mate and things like that straight away, because we're all busy. We can't just sort of, turn around and ask questions and things like that, especially when you're joining a new company in lockdown. It's always tough, because I'm definitely not I'm still learning as I go and things. So yeah, it is. I think you've got to say that's the most challenging thing, I think, for everybody, not just me. I think that's across the board. Yeah,
agreed. And what have you enjoyed the most since being at Distology?
Enjoyed the most?
Working with me, yeah?
Yeah, possibly. No, the culture. I think, the vendors we're working with speak for themselves. That, you don't, to be honest, when we're doing our job right, the vendors sell themselves. In my opinion, they're that good. So, the biggest thing for me is the culture that we've got, I think, internally, especially in a time like we're at, being able to stay positive, stay, working together as closely as we are is phenomenal. I've got friends that are working in, for other companies across the UK in different industries, and, in tech in some cases as well. The culture is nowhere near it in terms of what we're at here. So, it's pretty phenomenal.
Good to hear, mate. Last question. What does the future hold for Elliott Harper and the Southern team at Distology? What's the plan, mate? Talk me through them.
That's a big question. Well, I think that I can really see a massive growth for us down south, and I want to be part of that, and be driving that from whatever role that takes me to be honest. I absolutely loving building the relationships that I am at the moment, and building the pipeline. I think is fantastic. We're now starting to see some decent stuff being closed as well, which is great. So I think for me, I can really see it being a bit of a hub for Distology, if I'm honest. That's what I want it to be, if I'm honest with you. I think that, rather than, us be remote, I think it would be great to have an office as well at some point. So yeah, I really do. I think the kind of, where we go on it is entirely up to us. So, I really want to see it as I say, a bit of a hub and driving revenue for Distology. That's the key. Hopefully, I'm part of that.
Yeah, you will be, yeah, and it's an exciting thing. I'm sure we'll all hear lots more plans of what we're doing down south. But yeah, that team will continue to grow, and you and Mr. Rumble between you've set up a great start for that team. So it's really exciting to see where that will go. I'm going to do a Columbo and ask you one more question. You're probably too young to know who Columbo is, aren't you?
I have no idea, mate. Who is Columbo?
No, Google it, mate. Google it. Google. Everyone knows Columbo if you're over the age of sort of 25, and you're obviously not.
No.
Sum up Distology in 3 words.
Oh, mate. Ambitious. Oh God, ambitious is definitely one of them. Confident, I would say, and honest. I think, which are three traits which are vitally important, I believe, in this industry we're working. So
yeah, Really well summed up, mate. Perfect. All right. Well, congratulations again for winning for December. It's a great sales performance too. But I think the way you've come into the business and sort of built those relationships and really helped enable partners in a tricky and tough time for everyone has been really great to see, mate. So good start and keep it up.
Thanks, mate.
No worries. So thank you very much for everyone for watching or listening to December's issue, so to speak. We can be found on all good podcast platforms now. So if you're on one of your little lockdown walks and you want to listen to me and Elliott shoot the breeze again, you can do that. If you're doing a bit of DIY, what else could you be doing, Elliott, in lockdown?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, well, if it's me eating KFC, to be fair, so you could do it. You know.
If you're ploughing through, 10-piece bucket, you can get us on all good podcasts.
Mine was just
So, thanks again, Elliott, for winning. Congratulations. And for everyone else, we'll catch you on January's edition.